everyone, Denise here. Today I'm going to talk to you about putting pockets on a sweater, cardigan, whatever. So this is the Sowieso sweater that I have designed many different versions of this, and one of the things that you can change on it is pockets. Now there are different kinds of pockets. I'm just going to show you like the standard front pockets on a sweater. They are the simplest to make and attach. So whatever your sweater that you have, you can put these pockets on yours. So with pockets, it depends on what you're using the pockets for. You want to choose a stitch that is going to hold in keys if you have keys, small things in your hands that you want to put in your pocket. Remember that if you're putting it in a crochet pocket, it can fall out. You can also line them if you want with some fabric, and that's a whole different video. And there are many videos out there that show you how to do that. How I personally would do it is make the pocket like I'm telling you, and then I would take some fabric, like t-shirt fabric, and I would sew it with my sewing machine onto the pocket and then attach the pocket to the sweater. So I'm not showing that today, but that's just an option. If you are adventurous enough to do that, you could go ahead and do that. I say like t-shirt material because that won't fray, and that would be easy to poke your hook through if you need to sew your pocket on, whatever. But today I'm just going to show you how to make a cute square pocket for whatever sweater you want to put it on. If you want to use the stitch that I have here in this tutorial, or like a single crochet, half double crochet, whatever your favorite stitch is, as long as you don't care about something falling through the holes of your fabric, you can use whatever stitch you want. The stitch I'm going to use is the one in the sweater itself, and it is called a 2 double crochet cluster. That is something very complicated sounding for a very beautiful simple stitch. So the whole sweater is made of the stitch, and the pockets are just, it's so easy, it's almost silly to do a tutorial, but I'm going to anyway because maybe some of you don't know. But essentially what you're going to do is make a square. So I'm going to grab a I think this is a 4.5 millimeter hook, and that's what I've been using on my sweater. Is this? Yeah, this is a 4.5. So this is a clover amour that I covered with silicone beads. I move these to check the size. You can also use a gauge to check the size, but I don't know where my gauge is right now, so that's what I'm doing. The yarn I'm using is laying on the desk up there. With what I have left of that hank. This is Woodland Winter. This is Bouncy DK 100% superwash merino wool. This is 100 grams, 231 yards. It's a DK weight. This is by the Speckled Finch Studios, and as you can see, my word, it is stunning. I love it. I cannot wait to have my sweater done. Obviously, this is not going to fit me. That is Woodland Winter. Now, Woodland Winter is not available anymore right now. I can't speak if it will never be available, but it's not available right now in the shop. I will leave my affiliate link for Speckled Finch Studios below with a discount code, so you can get a good discount on whatever you want to buy. They do have subscription boxes, and I have a whole playlist for that. I will link below as well. If you want to use an edging on the top of your pocket, so your pocket is going to be square. If you want to highlight color, you sure can use one. The highlight color I'm using for my cardigan is this, and it's not going to be in this video. However, I will tell you if I was going to change color when it would be. It's blue spruce, same specs. That will be on my main one when I'm all done, and I share pictures on the community page. But for today, we're just going to use the Woodland Winter to show you how to do the pocket. Boy, I feel like I've talked way too much, so let's get started. So this stitch is any multiple you want to make. So you got to figure out how big you want your pocket and where you want your pockets to be. I am showing you a sample here, baby size sample. So I'm gonna evenly place the pocket, probably third stitch in here, probably third stitch in. So probably here to here. That's all the wide I am making this pocket. So if you're making two, make sure that you write down what you chained and all that good stuff, because you're going to want them to match. So chain whatever you want, because like I said, you could use whatever stitch as long as it doesn't have, you know, a multiple of like 3 or whatever. This one is any multiple. So I'm going to go ahead and chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to chain 9, 7, 8, 9, because mine's a baby sweater. Maybe I'll do 10. I will do 10. Okay. And now I'm going to show you the stitch. So I'm going to drop the camera down. All right. So in the second chain from the hook right here, I'm going to do a single crochet. And then we're going to do a single crochet in each stitch all the way across. Okay, so now for each and every row, you're going to chain up 2, you're going to turn your work, and in that same stitch or space, you're going to put your 2 double crochet cluster. So yarn over, go into that stitch or space, yarn over and pull up, yarn over and go through 2. Yarn over, go into the same stitch or space, yarn over, pull up, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 3. First 2 double crochet cluster made. Then we're going to do that in each stitch all the way down. Yarn over, go into the stitch, yarn over and pull up, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go into the stitch, yarn over and pull up, yarn over and go through 2, yarn over, go through all 3. All the way down the row. Make sure you put one in your last stitch here. There's our first row. Now you're going to repeat that row until you get to the length of the pocket you desire. My pocket's not going to be that big because this is a baby size sweater, so I'll probably do like 2 more rows and then I'll be done, because it's going to be tiny. And then I'll meet back with you to show you if you want to do a contrasting edge. So I'll see you in a minute. I'm just going to work 2 more rows same way. Chain 2, put a 2 double crochet cluster in your first stitch or space as your chain 2, and in each all the way across. I'll see you in a minute. Okay, once you get to almost a square, but not a square, and I'll show you how to do that. Let me zoom out a bit. So to test if something is a square, take the one corner over here and fold it up to this other corner And if they match and you get a triangle, you have a square. If you don't match, you can turn it over and see, oh, well, I need to do that much more work to get there. And that's good, because if you're going to do a little edging on the top here that is different to match your ribbing on your sleeves and around your sweater, you want that room to do that. And what I did for the sleeve edging is 1 row of double crochet and then 1 row of front post, back post double crochet. So once you are to that spot where you don't quite have a square, but you want to do the ribbing, this is where you change color. If you don't want the ribbing, keep working until you get to that square in the same stitch that you're using. This is only if you want to do a little front post, back post. That will cinch in your fabric a bit, so keep that in mind, but it will also help your pocket to lay a little closer to your garment. So I'm going to chain 2 here, turn my work, and in that same stitch or space, I'm going to put a double crochet. And then in each stitch all the way across, a double crochet. I'll see you in a second. Okay, have our double crochet row done. Now I'm going to chain 2 and I'm going to turn my work. And this is where I'm going to start the front post and the back post double crochets. So in this next stitch right here, not the same one, but in this next one, I'm going to do a front post. Now that's yarning over, going through the post of the stitch, yarning over and pulling up, and then finishing like a normal double crochet, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. A back post is yarn over, go around the post but the back way. Yarn over, pull up, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. And then alternate that. Front, back. Front, back. All the way across. Ending here on a back. Now if you used a contrasting color, these 2 rows will pop. Just pull them slightly. And that's your pocket right there. So if I fold this corner up, should almost be there. Yep. Very, very close. The other thing that you can do around your pocket is do a single crochet, and that just cleans it up. So if I was going to do that, I would chain 1 here, turn my work, put 2 single crochet in each stitch, or chain 2 space all the way down, or roughly thereabout. Like if you want to count it, that's great, and match, but I just put it in where it's comfortable. Make sure I don't put too many or too little stitches so that it lays nice and flat when you're done. And 3 single crochets in each corner. So I'm almost to the corner here. 3 single crochets in the corner stitch. 1, 2, 3, and then continue single crochet all the way around, and I'll meet up with you when you are done. Make sure you make 2 pockets if you want 2 pockets. If you want to do across the top of your pocket, you can. Just make sure that you're turning the corners like you normally would, putting 3 single crochets. I am not. I'm stopping here and leaving the top as is. Then you will obviously fasten off, weave in those ends, and then place your pocket wherever on your garment that you want it, and then you will stitch it to your sweater, leaving the top open. So if you're making 2, make 2. I'll come back to you in a little bit. I'll show you how to attach it to your sweater. Okay. So get a tapestry or darning needle, and let's start weaving it in. So if you're going to make pockets, make sure that whatever yarn that you used on the pocket, on the body of the pocket, matches your sweater, because that makes it much easier. Center your pocket wherever you want it. This still needs an edging all the way around it, so I'm accounting for that and putting it just above where the edging would go. And then what I would do, if you want to affix it with needles or stitch markers or whatever to keep it in place, you can, but I would just stop every once in a while and eyeball it, go in, I usually come back up in the next part of the stitch, and then I go back down into that same part of the stitch. I'm essentially sewing it to the garment. If you want to whip stitch it and just go around and around, this is how you'll do it. Just like this. So you will stay on top and you'll just duck down into the fabric here and pull up. I personally would seam stitch it like as if I was a sewing machine or hand sewing something, because I wouldn't want the whip stitching to show. I'm not going to leave the pockets on, but see, you can see the stitching. I like the up down method, so that is what I will be doing if I attach pockets to my actual sweater. Up, down, and then I back stitch, if you will, just like that. And I would come back up after the one I just went down in and keep going. And that's all there is to it. If you used a contrasting color on the top of your pocket, you will also want to use that color to stitch the top of your pocket, so it is not different. I'll see you in a bit. That is as easy as it can get as far as pocket making goes. So one of the things you can do before attaching is you can block it, press it, pin it out after you get it a little damp, and make sure that it is completely to the measurements that you want it to be. I personally really don't do that unless it's something that I'm probably going to hang up or look at for a long time. But as far as garments go, I typically don't block like pockets and stuff like that. But it's a personal choice, so you do as you will. So obviously I'm not going to leave the pocket on there. This is a baby sweater. Babies don't really need pockets. And I'm also going to use this sweater for the hood tutorial. So I just wanted to show you a pocket and how to add a pocket to a sweater if you are interested in doing that. Clearly, if you want 2 pockets, make 2. I only made 1 because this isn't going to stay this way. So thank you so much for watching, everyone. I appreciate you. Stay tuned for the hood tutorial and the edging that goes around the entire sweater after the hood is on. So I will see you in the next one. Take care. Until next time, guys. Bye.